G'day guys, welcome to your first speaker building workshop. Today is about making speaker cabinets. So we're going to be applying glue, getting the clamps, strapping it all up, and making a strong box. This step is about preparation. We don't want to just rush into the gluing. We want to take a bit of time and get really familiar with the steps. The way we do that is we do a dry fit. So we essentially do a glue up process without the glue. And there are two ways that we can do it. We can either use ratchet straps. So if you bought the kit, the ratchet straps came included. If you want to get a really good glue up, something that's what professionals do, they use clamps like these. If you don't have clamps like these, you can always just go to a friend who got some and just ask them if you can borrow them. You can also buy them, but they're not cheap. If you think you're going to do some more woodwork after this, definitely a good investment because this makes a massive difference to your gluing process. I will say though that if you don't want to go out and this is the only option, that's fine. This does a great job as well. You're just going to have to take a couple of more steps and you're going to have to be a bit vigilant in how you apply these. But we'll get there. So today, as I said, is about preparation. Wear some clothes that you're happy to get dirty. You're going to get your hand covered in glue. This is water-based, so it does wash off. But if you want to wear gloves, so be it. You can do that as well, that's fine. And I put a bit of cardboard down on my workbench. The reason I've done that is I want to protect my wood. I don't want to dent it. And also, I don't want to get glue on the workbench that I'm working on, but that will happen. If you're going to be working inside, if you do that, just take some precautionary measures, such as putting some cardboard down the workbench. And if you think you're going to spill something on the carpet or your floor, have a rag and some water ready so you can just wipe it off. And if you really want to go the extra mile, put a bit of plastic down or a bit of a towel underneath your working so that if any glue does go there, it's soaked up by the towels. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a step-by-step process of how to do it. I highly recommend watching this video in full before you proceed to your glue up because it's one step you don't want to get wrong. And take your time, feel confident. And if you want, do it with someone that can help you and hold some things. It makes it a lot easier. I'm going to be doing it on my own, but you'll get the idea of how someone else can help you. Before doing this step, I like to have a look at the wood. Get really familiar with what's in the kit. If you made the wood yourself, you pre-machined it, then you'll be very familiar with it. But if you bought it at the kit, have a look at the grain structure. See if there's any grain patterns that you really like. So, you can have the side panel like this or like that, depending on what you think look good. That's entirely up to you. And what I also like to do is I like to write something on side of the speaker cabinet. Something, shows that you did it. And who knows, in 100 years' time, somebody might have a look inside and go, such and such made this on this date, or anything you can write in there, something funny, something meaningful, or if you don't want to write anything at all, then you can do that. I'm going to write, this is great. This is a great course. I think that's a pretty accurate description. You can write that as well, or you can write your name, put your date there, anything you want really. With woodwork, there's heaps of types of glues that you can use. The most common type is PVA, stands for polyvinyl acetate. It's really common glue because it's water-based, it's really strong, and it's non-toxic. I know I said we'd do the dry fit first, but we are going to do one little glue up first. We're going to apply glue to our braces. So this is one member of the brace, this is the other member. We need to glue them together first before we can do the dry fit. We need to make this into one component. So we're going to add it like that. The reason why we're doing this is that we can give ourselves a stronger box. This brace is designed to hold the side panels in the back. And this brace here is designed to connect the front with the back and to the brace like that. It will make all sense when you glue it up, but it gives a much stronger box. We need to glue it down like that. What we want to do is we want to get it roughly in the middle. If you want, you can measure it out and get it in the middle. I'm just going to do it by eye. So once you've done that, you're going to want to weigh it down or clamp it. You can either just use something, out of the kit. You can put some books on it, brick, anything you got that's heavy. Just leave it there for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and do the dry fit. You can also use a clamp. Clamps will give you a really good, strong connection. If you don't have any, just use the weight like I was saying before. So when doing the dry fit with the ratchet straps, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get the ratchet strap, the strap, just like that, placing it down on the ground. Your kit may come with a hook on the end of the ratchet, or it might not come with a hook on the ratchet. It depends on what I can get hold of. If it comes with it, then you just join it on this loop, leave this one there. If it doesn't come with it, just hook it into that loop. So place that down like that. Get your front baffle, the front panel, the one with the 2 holes in it for the tweeter and woofer. Place it down first like that. Perfect. Then you're going to get a side panel, put it like that. You're going to get the bottom, placing it like that. Getting the top, putting it on. Then get your brace, making sure that the brace, this part, goes up against the front panel. You do not want to get it the other way around, otherwise you're not going to be able to get your woofer and tweeter in there. So it's imperative that you get this right. So that goes like that. And when placing it in, making sure that this part here is close to the tweeter bit. See how that's just near the tweeter there? Perfect. Then get your side panel, place that on, ensure that you get the brace in between the 2 slots. So this bit here, see that little slot there? That's where the brace goes. You want to get that arm into the brace. And then you've got your back panel. What you want to do is you want to make sure your back panel, that hole for the port, goes over the hole for the tweeter. You don't want to get the other way around. You're going to get it wrong and it's not going to work. So chuck that down like that. I cut up a whole lot of cardboard so that I can put it underneath the ratchet straps and these hooks. If we don't, we're going to dent our wood, and we don't want that. So cut yourself some cardboard up. If you've got scrap timber lying around or anything that can protect the timber from the clamp, use that. But cardboard works just fine. When hooking it in, you want your ratchet strap to be like that. Like that. And then you want to hook it like that. Not like that, because it won't work. It's got to be like that. What I'll do is I'll double up 2 bits of cardboard just to get extra protection. Chuck that there. Chuck another 2 bits underneath the hooks. Down on this side, down here. Then what you want to do, get your hand, run it like that. That way you won't get any twists in the strap. Bring it around. Chuck it through that little slit. And then pull it through. This is why it's important doing a dry fit, so you can get familiar with the whole process of the ratchet straps or the clamp that you're using. It doesn't matter how much skill you have in woodwork, everyone does a dry fit if they're doing something that's new. Oops. Anyway, stuff like that will happen. At this point, we don't need to put heaps of tension in there, just enough to keep it from falling over. So yeah, we'll go around it afterwards and tighten them all up. But we don't want to go too tight, otherwise we might not get a proper clamp. So just lightly clamp it. Do the other one. Beautiful. Now we're going to put clamps on this side over here. One note about the clamps is that you want to get them close to the edge. If you put them too close in this way, or like down here, you're not going to get enough load on here. So you want to get them towards the edge. That way we can pull the whole panel in. The same thing, get your ratchet like that, hook it on. Same thing, only get 2 bits of cardboard, double it up underneath the ratchet. put on the next ratchet. Now I'm ready to do the glue up. What I'm going to do is the same process, exactly the same way I did the dry fit. It's how I'm going to do the glue up. The difference is I'm going to be adding glue each time I put a panel on. So starting with the bottom panel first, I'll be placing that down. I'm going to be applying the glue. You can either get a paintbrush or you can use a spreader bar. It's a little bit of MDF. You can use your finger. The idea is that we just want to get glue over all the joints. We don't want to leave it dry, because if we leave it dry, we're losing out on strengths. Place it all around the edges like that, and then either use your spreader bar to massage it in, use your finger, whatever you want to do. Again, this is water based, so you can just wash it off afterwards. Don't go eating it, drinking it. That would not be good in any way, so don't go doing that. You kind of want to work a bit fast. You don't want to work too slow, otherwise it will start drying on you, and if it does that, then you're not going to get a very strong box. It really doesn't matter if it's really hot. Like I'm in Australia right now, like 31 degrees, so stuff is drying as fast as I can apply it on this. And also get the glue into that edge and that edge. So you want to get it on both those edges. Making sure I don't have any dry bits. Looks good. Then get your side panel, remembering the joint. Place that down, line it up towards the edges, down there. Chuck a little bit of glue in there as well. A little bit of glue on these guys. I didn't put any glue on this side down here. You don't have to, but you really should glue both joints. That way you get making sure that you're getting a really good coverage. Get your side panel, taking note of what direction you want to place the wood. If you ordered the solid wood option, you want to make sure that the wood is facing outwards, otherwise you'll see the plywood. If you're using the plywood option like I am, just have a look at both sides, see what side you like the most. I like that side more than that side because this side is a bit darker, but who knows, you might like that side more than I do. No wrong way to do it, but if you're using the solid one, make sure you have a solid layer of timber on the outside of the big cabinet. And then your brace, you can either add your side panel, your top, or your brace. I'll add my brace so that you guys can see it easier. So again, make sure you have a bit of glue here, and then along that edge, the other side, and then the bottom here. And again, making sure that it goes down like that. Do not have it like this, that side like that, that's no good. Do not have it like this, really bad. Have to go like that. The top, have a look at the grain pattern. I like that side more, so that'll be my outside. I've got myself a rag, I can just wipe my hands down as I go, keeping them relatively clean. And then we're going to chuck on our side panel for this guy. Add some glue. It's a bit hard to show you guys. Easier when you don't have to do it in front of the camera. Just squeeze it all in with my hand, just so it's nice and in the right locations. So again, making sure that this hole here goes over the tweeter hole. You don't want to have it the wrong way around to get this right. Add some glue on, all around. I'm just going to add some glue up here as well, just so that I get some good coverage. Unreal. Put that on. Making sure my hole's over the tweeter hole. Pull all the panels in, push it down a little bit, make it snug. Get a piece of cardboard, remember these, down the end. And then we're going to get two for the top. I'm making sure that my ratchets are quite close to the edge. You know, don't have them too far in, otherwise you won't get very good strength. Get the strap, place it through the hole of the slit of the ratchet, bring it over. Not too much pressure, just enough to keep it in place. So now I just want to push the ends in, make sure that they're hard up. Now I'm going to do the other sides. If you want to be real fancy, you pre-strap them together and just lay them down so they're ready to go. Now that I've got all my ratchet straps all over on each side, I can start pulling them in. I'm just going to gradually do it, you know, work my way around, a couple of clicks here and there. That way we get a really strong joint. So I've tightened up all my ratchet straps. I'm just going to go around all the joints and have a look, you know, make sure there's no gaps. If there are any gaps, just put a bit more pressure down. If you can't fill it, just, you know, massage your PVA glue and that will fill it as well. In the sanding process, we're going to do a technique that will fill those gaps as well. So don't worry about too much, just making sure that you can reduce the gaps as much as you can. And they should be very small if you have any. What you can do now is get a damp rag and wipe off the excess glue. That just makes it a whole lot easier in the sanding process. If you do have a spare clamp lying around, and only one, what you can do as well is just chuck a clamp down on this edge, and that really pulls the front and back baffles hard down onto the side panels. Highly recommend doing this. When we use the ratchet strap, we're getting a lot of tension along here and here, but not much in the middle. So it really does help having a clamp there. But if you don't have a clamp and you don't want to buy one, that's fine. This will be fine like this, but I'm going to chuck it on anyway. You don't have to put heaps of pressure, just enough to bring it all in. When I've done that, I've seen a little bit of glue squirt out from the joints, which shows me that there was a little bit of a gap. But now, that looks awesome. So I'm going to glue up my next speaker cabinet, but this time I'm going to use clamps. Instead of using the ratchet clamps, ratchet straps, I'll be using these clamps. Like I said before, if you can get clamps like these, you can buy them off a mate. You know, you've got a dad that has them. These are my dad's actually. Then I highly recommend using them. You're going to get a really professional glue up. Your gaps are going to be like you won't have any gaps. Yeah, if you can, do it like this. If you can't, use your ratchet straps the way I just showed you just then. So just like doing the ratchet strap, we're going to do it the same sequence. We're going to put the bottom panel down and then follow on from that. When using these sorts of clamps, you're going to want to protect the timber because they apply a huge amount of force. So I've got these offcut bits of timber that I found lying around my dad's workshop. But anything, you know, any bits of offcut of MDF, plywood, any sort of offcuts you can find is going to work just fine. But ideally, we want to find wood that's enough to span the widths of the front panel. That way we can get really good clamping pressure. So I'm going to use my two offcuts. Again, whatever offcut you've got is fine. I'm going to chuck them down first. So they're there. So the first step is add some glue. Side panel. I should note one thing. I forgot to say this, and I forgot to do it actually. Is that when we're using these sorts of pieces of timber, we don't want them to glue to our piece because it's timber. So I've got a bit of cardboard just to put underneath, just to sort of lift it off a little bit. That way it won't stick down. Where it's really helpful to have someone else. Someone can hold the blocks for you while you clamp it. I don't have that, so it's a bit of a trick. I sort of need to somehow get it all lined up, do it.